This week we talked to Spanish teacher Senorita Bruck about what it's like being a teacher with COVID. What are some things you did before Kilbourne?
So before I came to Kilbourne, I went to OU in Athens. That's where I went to college. So I lived down there for a little while, and then my first teaching job was in like a really tiny little town in southeastern Ohio near Athens. So I taught there for about 2 years. I coached cheerleading and was really involved there. And then I decided that I wanted to come back to the Columbus area. I graduated from Thomas Worthington, so I knew that Worthington was a good district. So I was really lucky to be able to come back to Worthington and get hired here at Kilbourne.
What do you do to prepare for a school day?
So it obviously involves a lot of planning. When I'm doing my lesson planning, it usually takes me a couple of hours per week to think about what I'm going to be teaching that week. I'm always thinking about what do my students need from me today. So I know that if you guys have testing or something, you're probably going to be a little bit drained and tired. So I'll kind of match my lesson for that day accordingly. I think about what kind of information we need to go over, what you guys are still struggling with. I'm always thinking about how I can improve and make my lessons better. And then there's the grading and the meetings and the emails. So that just requires a lot of coffee and caffeine and a lot of hours of sleep.
What do you like best about being a teacher?
It's cheesy, but you guys, it's so much fun just like getting to know you guys, watching you grow and find success and overcome things, and just getting to kind of hang out and have fun. I mean, Spanish is fun too, but I just really enjoy being with you guys and my students. That's the best part.
What are your hardest struggles about being a teacher?
I would say the most difficult part about being a teacher is just finding balance in your life. It's difficult to find balance between your own personal life, finding time to take care of yourself, your own family, your friends, your hobbies, balancing that with your professional life. So lesson planning, grading, taking care of all the kind of teacher tasks that we have to do. And then in addition, just like caring for your students. I care about you guys so much and I think about you often. And so I know when you guys are going through hard stuff, like it takes a toll on me, and I feel that for you guys. So balancing all of that can be really difficult. And I think that this year, especially, it's been even more difficult because you're doing all of those things that you would normally be doing, trying to balance all of that, but everything's just kind of elevated. I know like this year in my own personal life, I've had a lot of struggles and loss in my family because of COVID and things like that. I know all of my students have had similar situations, and I worry about you guys, and I want you guys to be okay. So I think that just balancing that stuff this year has been even more difficult than ever. And it can be really emotionally draining, but it's been cool to see like how resilient and how creative you guys have been in your problem solving, and just being flexible and making it work. And you guys have actually done a really good job this year, just making this a pretty easy transition.
What advice would you give someone in teaching?
I would say work smarter, not harder. Putting in hours and hours and hours of work does not make you a better teacher. Sometimes it can actually make you a worse teacher. So I think just finding systems and ways that you can kind of manage everything that work for you, I think that's good advice, because it can be really draining and you don't want to get burnt out. So yeah, work smarter, not harder.
This has been Julia Haddon, Sadie Walker, WKHS News.